Hello and welcome. If you clicked on this video, you probably have an Antlion wireless mod mic like me. And as you can see, my mic doesn't have a normal USB micro connector because I switched it with this custom magnetic USB micro connector I found on Amazon. And as you can see from left to right, these are my prototypes for my charging station for the mic. And I will upload every single STL file from these so you can download them and print them yourself. And if you want to use the same cable as me, I bought the Waferton cables. There are 4 for 20 euros, including different connectors and the detach tool because they are very hard to get off. And this is what the cable looks like, and it's very important that you buy a cable with this 90-degree bendable end because it's very important for my design. And my plan was that every design should fit the mic pretty much perfectly, so it won't fall off by itself even if you shake it a little bit, and you should be able to put the cable in from both sides so it matches your system. For the first prototype I just guessed the measurements, so it doesn't really fit that well, but it worked. And it's just holding together with this little pins on the right side, so you don't have to use glue, but if you want to use glue you can do it and it will be pretty effective. But I wouldn't recommend it because if you want to get your cable back in the future you would have to cut it open with a knife, and assembling it again it's pretty much impossible, I guess. So if you take your cable you can just flip it 90 degrees and you put it in place and you just turn the prototype and you can put the mic in it. Pretty easy. It will work instantly with charging and it will turn on, but the fact that the cable is loose, it's nice for getting the cable out fast again, but it can fall out by accident. For the second design you can see there's a little cut. This was my mistake while modeling, and I put a little support bracket on the button because you can see there's no open area anymore. And as you can see, if I open it up, there are pretty much 2 ways the cable can go. And if I add the mic, you can see it fits pretty well, but actually a bit too well, because if I add the cable, you can see I measured only this cable and didn't thought about any other cables. So it fits perfectly with this cable, but it has no area to move at all, so it won't make contact by a 1/10 of a millimeter. And you can see it pretty much when I add the mic too, because I can wiggle it a little bit, and this wiggle space is actually enough so it won't make contact when I put the prototype together, and it won't charge. But it wasn't all bad with this prototype, because when I put it together it pretty much fits the mic perfectly, even though it takes some force, and it would hold it pretty securely even if you wiggle it pretty hard, or even if you put it upside down and wiggle. And this pretty much perfect fit is only possible because I had the STL files from Antlion, and again a big thank you for the files. I know these files contain pretty serious information, and with these files it was way easier to get the form done than just guessing what the shape is like, because I'm not that skilled in 3D modeling software like Blender or 3D Builder from Microsoft, because even that is pretty advanced for me. For the next prototype I just made it a little bit bigger overall, so it's easier to assemble or disassemble it. And I tried to make some more space for the cable, because if I put it in, it still hasn't that much space to wiggle, but I wanted to fit pretty much every cable and not just this cable, so I still had to make it bigger. So I made this prototype, and as you can see it's a bit more dirty because I tried to print it without the raft. It has a bit tighter fit, so it's more stable, but the important part is that it has way more space than before. So I can still fit this cable, but also can fit any other brand cable, so you don't have to buy this exact cable. And if you want to know why this prototype is so much smaller than the others, I just cut the sides away so I don't have to print everything even I don't need it. So yeah. And I printed this prototype in 0.28mm layers and the others in 0.12mm layers. So for the last prototype, which actually is kinda the final product, it fits the mic pretty well and it's pretty stable, but without the cable with the magnet in it, it can fall out, but that's planned because you should be able to get it out pretty easily. So you could shake it and it won't fall out, but the cable is the main anchor point for the mic. And one very important feature in my opinion is that the indicator lights are very good visible, and it is again pretty easy to disassemble and assemble again. But I still added a little slide on the button for stability reasons. So assembling it should be really easy. If you put the mic on top, you can put the cable on the right side. It should have enough space to wiggle a bit, but you also could put the cable on the left side. It will work both ways, but for me, in my experience, it looks better if you put the cable on the left side, and it will be a little bit stronger as well. Then you can just close it up, press it together, and it should fit perfectly with any cables. And even if you have a very thin cable, it should fit easily because this cable is pretty thick, as you can see here. here it's measuring 3.55 millimeters and it's as thick as this Logitech mouse cable. So if you decided what direction your cable should face, left or right, it's totally up to you. You can put your mic in it and it will instantly turn on and it will start charging. You can also turn it off. It will just keep charging, no problem at all. But you have to keep in mind to keep your PC on so it gets charged. If you turn your PC off, it usually turns off your USB power. The mic is still more heavy on the left side than the right side, so it will stand up. But I'm thinking about the extra stand you can put in this hole. So it will be an extra part, so you don't have to waste or throw away your existing stand. You just have to print the extra stabilizer or stand or what you want to call it for your mic and you just can add it. But as you can see, even if I press down on the right side, it's still charging, so you won't need it actually. So I hope you liked this video, and if you want to paint it, you can just do it as you wish with spray paint or whatever. Even if you have 3 layers of paint or a big first layer of primer, it should still have enough space to wiggle so it will be charged. So you can download everything in the description, and again thanks Antlion for giving me the STL files I needed to make the charging station as perfect as possible. So here are some measurements I took. These aren't actually the final numbers, so I guess I can show them easy. And here's my Microsoft Builder project. As you can see, there are also the microphones from Antlion, but if I upload this, I will delete them because they asked me to not share or upload it. So I won't, obviously. And yeah, see you in the next video maybe. Later.